What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to X-Plane, guys. How are you doing? It is coming up on the weekend. It is finally Friday, and we're picking up with our Atlas Air flight to Anchorage from O'Hare. I think it was Atlas flight 8065. So this is a day later. The weather's changed a little bit, but not too drastically. So we're just a little bit outside of the I think it's the YQH VOR. We'll look at that in a second and go do a little bit of a recap on our routing. But let's go ahead and hop in the airplane real quick, and we'll check everything out and make sure we're doing okay. All right, yes, we are cruising at about 38,000 feet. We're just a hair under for some reason. I'm not sure what's up with that. Let's make sure our 902, yeah, that's right. And we are heading to YQH. Okay, so we're good with that. 38,000, Mach 0.82. Everything's looking good. The headwind still is not that bad. Not as bad as it was the other day at 107 knots. We were able to climb over that, and today it's only 45 knots out of 284, so that's good. That's not nearly as bad. That added a lot of time to our trip the other day. That added about an hour. Because of that headwind that we had. So let's see what else we need to do. You know what, we'll see about hopping in SkyVector and checking out our route once again and going over that. Let's get that pulled up real quick. There we go. All right, SkyVector. And let's see, we are we're just outside of Watson Lake, YQH. We're a few miles out of there. Let's see what it says. We are currently 133 nautical miles, so a bit from Watson Lake. So if we continue on our routes, we'll hit Watson Lake. We'll get on the J515 to Whitehorse, VOR, Yankee, X-Ray Yankee. And then we pick up one of the NCA tracks into Alaska, NCA 13, and we'll fly it through Jagged. That's going to be a compulsory reporting point. And we will come off NCA 13 at Thompson, where we will begin the Thompson transition of the Whitty for arrival into Alaska, or into Anchorage. We should be landing to the east. And we'll see about that as we get a little bit closer in. I don't even have that programmed in FMS yet because I wasn't exactly sure what the weather would be like once we got there. It's kind of really changing a lot here lately in Alaska. So our route as a whole, if you haven't watched the first video, is quite the route. We did depart from Chicago O'Hare. This is based on a real-life Atlas Air flight. I got the, let's pull these down. Got the flight plan out of SkyVector, and this is basically what we're doing the entire route right here. We flew the Pumpkin transition of the O'Hare 5 departure. We went direct Nido, direct Dillon, direct Ronick, direct BAE VOR, then J89 to DLH, J538 to VBI, then direct YQD, direct Petma, then the Q963 to Tulag, then direct YOJ, direct YQH, direct YXY, and then we took the NCA 13 route to Thompson, and then it looks like we'll be doing the Whitty for arrival into Anchorage. So that's the route as a whole. It's a good route. It's a lot of fun. It is a long route. It is quite the route, so be prepared to put some time into it. We split it up. I do a lot of time acceleration and stuff like that on it, and we split the route up. So anyway, probably what we're going to do is we're going to accelerate time a little bit and get further into the route and pick back up again, you know, at that point. But some other things I want to look at real quick. We're going to look at icing. We're going to see if that's an issue. Doesn't look like it is anywhere. I see it down in the continental United States, but not for Alaska. And turbulence is another thing. Yeah, okay. No worries with that. Let's look at SIGMETs. See anything for that? Nothing there. Had a lot of bad weather off the in the Bering Strait. over here towards Russia the other day. It was really, really bad, nasty weather. Had severe icing and severe turbulence, but I think that'll be okay. And as far as our arrival weather into Anchorage, it is currently winds are 350 at 5 knots, 10 statute miles, visibility, clear skies, altimeter 3041, and it looks like there's some weather off the coast of Alaska. Could be moving in there. It changes really quick there. That's one thing I've noticed planning this and like making these flights and looking at the weather on the way, is that it changes really quick in Alaska. Like it could be great 1 minute and then really bad the next. So it looks like you got some icing or snow or something to the west of Anchorage. That's maybe, no, it doesn't look like it's really moving into Anchorage. We're going more to the northeast, so we should be okay with that. Got a little bit of weather down here popping up, but it's going to the southwest, so who knows? I guess we'll find out when we get there. So now we'll go ahead and do time acceleration, and we'll pick back up in a little bit. All right, guys, we're back. We're about 30 miles outside of Thompson, so we need to cross Thompson at flight level 260, so we're going to go ahead and get that started. We're going to be doing the Whitty 4 arrival. I still got to get that programmed in, but I want to get this descent started real quick. So we'll do that vertical speed mode and we'll do like 2,000 feet per minute, something like that. And then now we need to go ahead and put in our Whitty 4 arrival. We will be landing ILS 7 right, so let's go to departure arrival, and next page, Whitty 4 7 right. Let's see, the transition will be the Thompson transition, and we'll be doing ILS 7 right with the ENA transition for that. That's all good, so let's go ahead and hit execute, and that is good as well. And it broke our flight plan, so let's fix that real quick. We'll go to legs, we'll take Thompson, put that in, hit execute. Let's double check anything else on it that might be broke. Yep, we got discontinuity here with a vector, so we need to get that out of there as well. So what we need to do is go the D 33, take that and go to the previous page and plug that in for vector and hit execute, and we should be good. We have continuity the whole way, so our flight plan's fixed, we're programmed in. We are oh, that's weird. It shows us going direct Jagged for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see. Let's look at. I don't know what's up with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Thompson and hit execute, and we should be good with that now. Okay, so let's just see about getting down to flight level 260. We don't have any, we'll pull this up real quick. Don't have any kind of speed restrictions or altitude restrictions or anything like that. Just Thompson at flight level 260, and then Whitty at 16,000. Gale at or above 12,000, below 15,000. Slow at 8,000. Silty at 5,400 feet, at or above 5,400 feet. Andy at 5,210 knots. Those are hard numbers. There's no at or above or below or anything like that. So we're good there. Let's see. So we'll just we'll continue on here with our descent. We may bump this up just a little bit more. We have to kind of watch our speed. Make sure we're not picking up too much. Okay, that looks good. That's the thing about this 7.4. You see our weather's cleared out now since we've skipped ahead a little bit. So it looks like it's going to be a nice arrival into Anchorage. And let's see, what else do we want to go over real quick? Oh yeah, I wanted to go back to the NCA tracks, which I'm just really kind of fascinated by those. Let's pull Sky Vector back up, and we'll go over the NCA routes. I'm not really sure the purpose of the NCA routes other than to like just funnel traffic into Alaska. If any of you guys are familiar with the NCA tracks or know more about them, let me know, because I would be really interested to find out. But there's several that go into Alaska. You have NCA 10, I think is the furthest south. It starts here at Mytom or Metom and goes over to the YAKVOR. Then you have NCA 11, NCA 12, 13, which is the one we're on. Then we got skips to 20 and 14, and then you've got 15 and 17 right here, I think. We'll pull up another chart and look. Two really short tracks, like they're only a few miles. Really kind of interesting. Then we have, let's see, what is this other one here? 22. Sky Vector's not wanting to load for us. There we go. 22, 19. Oh, why are you being so slow? 24. DA track 24. 28, not very long from Goats to Fort Yukon. What else? Let's see. We got 30. And we're getting on up into the far reaches of Alaska here. Why are you being so slow with me? There we go. Well, still not gonna load. It's being really super slow. What is this? I can't tell. Looks like 80. Yes, NCA 80. And then one more up here, just off the coast of Alaska, NCA 31. So there's multiple tracks. They all run across, basically, you know, on a east to west course across Alaska. Some are more, you know, southeast, northwest, but you know, they're really interesting tracks. They only start like right here at the border of Alaska and Canada. Some of them kind of spill over into Canada a little bit, but not a lot. So like I said, it's really interesting routes there. I'd love to find out more about them. So anyway, we're coming by Thompson now, I do believe. Yes, we're on our way to Whitty. And Whitty we need to cross at 16,000 feet, so we need to lose 10,000 feet. So we would start our descent roughly 30 miles outside of Whitty as well. So we're looking good with that. There's Whitty, then Gale, and then Slow. We're looking good with all that. Let's see, let's go ahead and look at our ILS approach. We will be doing 7 right into Anchorage. It's 111.3, so let's get that plugged in real quick. We'll get all this stuff taken care of so we have plenty of time to focus on the approach. So it'll be ILS 111.3, and the course is going to be 074 degrees, so let's get that plugged in as well. All right, we're good there. 111.3, 074, good with that. We'll be making the Kenai or the ENA transition into, doesn't have a crossing altitude for Kenai, but en route minimum altitude between Kenai and Elias is 2,000 feet. So I guess we'll be around 3,000 feet when we start, and then we'll get down to 2,000 feet for Elias. And then right around Elias, we should pick up the ILS, the localizer and glide slope. And then we'll have WeWo between 1,600 and 3,000 feet, Thule at 1,600, and Wibda at 1,000. So weather should be beautiful going into Anchorage, so we really shouldn't have to have the ILS. It's just kind of a backup. I really like having the precision approaches for the 747 because you need to have a good, good stabilized approach going in. So that is all looking good. Let's look at our missed approach real quick as well. Missed approach climb to 600 feet, then climbing right, turn to 3,000, on heading a 230 to the TED VOR DME R210 to Jukup, 15 DME and hold. TACAN aircraft doesn't apply to us, that's going to be military stuff. So we're good there. Minimum safe altitude. From the side we're coming in for the approach to be 1,800 feet. If we go east of the airport though, it jumps up to 8,900 feet. There's a lot of terrain over there, so we'll definitely have to keep that in mind. That climbing right turn on a missed approach is very, very important. If you don't do that, you're going to have a bad day. So that is all looking good. We're good there. Let's see, any other things we need here to look at? NOP ALS increase cat visibility to RVR 4000. Okay, yeah, we don't need to worry about that. So I think we're good. We're going to get about 30 miles outside of Whitty, and we'll start our next descent down to 16,000 feet. So we'll catch you guys in a little bit. All right, we're back 4 miles outside of Whitty, 4 nautical miles. We're just now hitting 16,000 feet, so that worked out perfect. 260 knots. The next point after this would be Gale. 30 miles out, we need 15 and 12,000 feet, between 15 and 12,000 feet for Gale. So we should be good for that. We're not going to worry about that descent until we get a lot closer into Gale. He's got us 31 nautical miles, so. All right, let's hop out of the airplane. Look again. Here's our beautiful Atlas Air 747. This does look like, this is like the BCF or whatever the passenger converted to the freighter, because it has the longer hump over the, or that typical 747 backbone or hump or whatever you want to call it. With the straight freighter version with the nose door, it would have a lot shorter one right here. So it's got the bigger upper deck. Not sure if they have any that have like the traditional freighter hump or not. I'll have to look at that and check that out again. But either way, a very nice looking airplane. Really like this. Love the Atlas scheme. I think that's a really classy, really super classy scheme on a 7.4. So very nice arrival into Anchorage. You can see the mountains and all the water and stuff down there. Really nice. Very scenic. So we should be there in no time. Let's hop back in the airplane. And let's see, we are 25 outside of Gale now. Around 20 we'll start our descent. We'll go ahead and hit the bottom end of the block at 12,000 feet. I usually like to hit the bottom compared to the top. If we were in a MD-80 series, I probably wouldn't care as much. We could hit the top because those planes can practically dive bomb. They're really easy to get down. 7.4 not so much. You have to watch it and watch your speed and all that stuff. So do have still a bit of a headwind, 41 knots out of about 1 or 2 o'clock. Not horrible, definitely not the 107 we saw the other day. And then also in channel news, just hit subscriber number 70, and I wanted to thank you guys for all that you've done, all your subscriptions and your likes and comments and all that stuff. It's always really super appreciated. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate that, and how much it honestly just kind of blows my mind. So back to the plane. What other thing we need to do that I almost forgot, and I do this a lot. I really need a checklist in front of me on my desk. We need to set our altimeter, so it's gonna be 3043. Let's get that taken care of real quick. You have to break your glasses out for this one. 301, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's double check that. 3043. So we're good there. Okay, we got that set. We've got our ILS in. We'll double check that in a bit when we get closer. When we get to, we'll probably need to go ahead and start our descent. Yes, we do. We need to go on down to 12,000 feet. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and get, what I usually like to do is just get enough on the dial to get things started, and then go ahead and start the descent, and then I'll finish out my speed when we get there. So we're good on that. Let's start pulling the speed back just a little bit. Let's see, our next point after Gale will be slow, 17 nautical miles out, and we'll have to go down to 8,000 feet. It's at or above 8,000 feet for slow, so we need to get 4,000 feet out from under us between Gale and slow, and also get down to 250 knots or less, so should be fine with that. We could honestly start pulling it back now. We may wait till we cross Gale. We'll see what our descent. If we level out a little bit before Gale, then we'll pull the speed back to 250 then. and hold that the rest of the way down. So everything's looking good. You can see all the mountains and stuff in the area. This I mean, this isn't like one of the craziest mountain approaches in the world by any means, but it's definitely one you have to be aware of. You know, I've learned that in my trip in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in New Mexico City. You know, it's good to be prepared. If you want to do this stuff right, be prepared. Know your approaches. You know, be familiar with your plates, your minimum safe altitudes, all that stuff, or you will fly yourself into some mountains really quick. Luckily, we have good weather for this arrival, so that terrain to the east of Anchorage, I mean, from what I can tell, does not play. You don't want to venture over there. So we're looking good. Everything's looking really nice so far. And we're just now hitting 12,000 feet, and we are 8 nautical miles outside of Gale, so this is a good time to bleed our speed off, so let's do that. We'll get down to 250. And she is slowing up very nicely. Still getting, getting used to these planes. I've flown a lot of different planes the past, month or so in Microsoft and X-Plane, new to X-Plane, new to all these aircraft. So it takes a little getting used to figure out their flight characteristics and things like that, you know, especially on the descent. You know, that's the one you have to kind of figure out, well, you know, what can I do where the speed doesn't start to get away from me? What can I descend at where it maintains speed? You know, what speed do I need to start using, popping the boards? You know, that kind of stuff. And just kind of get a general idea of what the airplane does. And then it starts to become much easier after that. Let's pull we're going to do 5 under, just for a little extra padding there. Let's see, we'll be crossing Gale in just a second, and we'll start down to slow. Kind of interesting fix name there, because we're not really slowing, we're already slow by then, so I guess it's the first fix you hit where you are slower. maybe that's going to be my thoughts behind it. Let's look here, 2 nautical miles outside. Got 1, and you see it's got 12 and above, or 15 and below, so that's good. And for slow, it's got 8 and above. This thing I love about X-Plane is the data and the FMS are dead on. They both seem to work really well for me. Go ahead and pull that down the rest of the way. They both work well. The data's good. You know, I've come across a small amount of data that wasn't in there. I know it's out of date. I've been thinking about updating it, but I'm not sure yet. You know, the autopilots pretty much do what they're supposed to. I haven't had the autopilot go completely crazy on me, not like FS 2020. And you know, honestly, right now FS 2020 is just more of a VFR sim for me. You know, I see they just released a patch the other day, and I've been watching some videos on it, and people are still having all kind of issues with the airliners and stuff like that, the bigger aircraft. So you know, at this point, FS 2020 to me is just a C-152, C-172 simulator until they get the other issues straightened out. And you know, time will tell. I still think eventually they will get it figured out and sorted. At least I hope they do. But I honestly can't say for certain. You know, I mean, all right, we're through to 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and hit our landing lights. We got those are good. Everything else is good there. And we had, we could do no smoking and seat belts. So I guess we got someone in the or not jump seat. I don't know if you call them jump seats behind the cabin. I always thought jump seats were like in the cockpit, but I guess it could be any seat on the airplane. But all right, so we're down to 9,000 feet, heading for 8. We are 9 nautical miles outside of slow. Silty is the next point we need to think about. 5,400 feet, so we'll try to do about 55 maybe. Let's see, what are we looking at here? 8 nautical miles, so looking really good. We'll be fine with this. Silty, 5,400 feet. Andy, 5,210. We'll probably hit Silty. We'll go ahead and pull our speed back to 230 knots. Let's go ahead and get some flaps. Let's go to flaps 5 maybe. Let's see, let's go ahead and pull our speed back to 230. This now's a good time to bleed it off. That way we won't have a whole heck of a lot of speed to dump by the time we get to Andy. I'd rather do it in small increments than having to dump a whole bunch at one time, especially in a 7.4. Like I said, if we're in an MD-80 series, it'd be completely different, but we really have to kind of be mindful of that speed coming up on final. Alright, let's see. 4 miles outside of Slow. What if we got any traffic in the area? I haven't even noticed. Got a few. Yeah, I got a few. 763, 767, 300, and whatever this R66 is here. So yeah, there's some traffic around Anchorage. Anchorage, you know, is an interesting airport. It's like one of those airports where they have a ton of GA traffic in and out of Anchorage, as well as seaplane traffic, and then you got your heavy traffic as well too, your 7.4s, your 777s, you know, so it's like a really crazy mix of traffic. I want to say, you know, Anchorage probably has some of the most VA traffic of any big airport I've ever known. You know, I could be completely wrong on that, but at least the airports that I'm familiar with, there is a lot of GA traffic in Anchorage. So let's go ahead and head on down to 5400, or 55, we'll do 55. And we'll go ahead and do 2000 on this. I don't think we have time to mess around because it's only 8 nautical miles. Yeah, we got to get down pretty quick here. We'll probably, let's see, let's double check our speeds on our flaps here. We should be fine with this. Let's see, yeah, we can go ahead and do flaps 10. So we'll do that. And that'll help us with our speed. And let's go ahead and drop it on down a good bit more. All right, there's the airport at Anchorage. So we got a nice, beautiful day for our arrival. And let's see what else we got here we're looking at. Zoom in on our chart real quick. Yeah, I also got Elmendorf Air Force Base just back over here somewhere. I can't see it right yet, but it's back over there. All right, so we are at 5,500 feet, 230 knots. We are crossing, just about to cross Silty. And Andy will be 5,210 knots. So let's drop our speed on back just a tad to 220. We're good there. And we are 3 nautical miles outside of Andy. Or I take that back. Silty, then Andy. You see there's our missed approach hold coming off of Anchorage. So we've got that. You can see, that's cool. Do see some traffic down there. You can see them popping up. This guy's climbing. This guy's descending. Everything else is clear. That is my biggest complaint about this 747 is how tiny that information is on the MFD. I just really on the verge of like breaking out my glasses to read that stuff. All right, let's go on down to 5,000 feet. The vertical speed, we'll do like 1,000, 1,200, something like that. And let's pull the speed on back to 210. Double check our speeds over here because I don't have those memorized. So 210. We can do flaps 20, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're down to flaps 20. We are coming up on Andy. As soon as we get by Andy, we'll switch over to approach mode. Let's double check our nav stuff one more time to make double sure, because I have thought that I changed it and I didn't. So ILS 111.3 and course of 074 for ILS 7 rights. 111.3074, so that is correct. And we'll hop back outside the airplane real quick and look at Anchorage. There's that train to the east of the airport that you have to look out for. You can see right off the archer end of the runway. There's Elmendorf Air Force Base over here. So all stuff we'll have to be mindful of. Got this nice big open area of water here though to turn back into for our missed approach and our hold, so that's good. And let's hop back in. Let's see how far out of Andy we are. Andy, we are 6 nautical miles. After Andy, we need to start heading down to about 3,000 feet. Alright, so far so good. Everything's stable, everything's going the way it's supposed to be. I don't like wonky approaches, just tend to throw me off from the get-go. So everything looks really nice. And in these bigger aircraft, you just really want that nice stable approach. And be situated and know everything exactly what you're going to do. And it just seems like it makes for a much better approach. Alright, 4 nautical miles outside of Andy. Check any traffic around here. Yeah, we got some traffic still around in the area. This guy right here. Not sure what he's doing. Alright, we're crossing Andy at 210, 5,000 feet. So looking good there. As soon as we jump to the D33, we'll go ahead. Alright, let's descend down to 3,000 feet. So we'll put that in. And we want to go ahead and get the airplane down. I don't like messing around on these descents to finals, so we're going to go ahead and get down quick for that. Speed's still looking good. Everything looks good there. We'll check our flap speeds one more time. All right, let's drop it on down to 200, and we'll go full flaps. I don't think we'll get a gear horn for that on this plane. I'm not sure on that. It varies. All right, we're down. No, we have to go flaps 25. Never mind, not full flaps. Flaps 25. Okay, we'll do full on final, so we're good there. And we're coming up on 3,000 feet. That's looking good. There we go. Everything's looking really nice. Let's see if we got our traffic out there somewhere. Alright, I don't see our traffic anywhere. I don't know where he's at out there. We'll keep rolling with it. Still, everything's looking really good. When we get right before we start making our turn back to our final approach course towards Elias, we'll go ahead and descend that 2,000 feet. And let's go ahead and swap over to approach mode. Get ready to capture that localizer when we come in. I just about always let the auto land when it's available. Let it set up the approach. It adds for a more stable approach right away. You know, right out the gate. Looks like a oil rig out there. That's cool. Offshore platform. And some other stuff out here. What is that? A sailboat? Like it, maybe. Do have a little weather to the west of the field. All All right, we should start turning back in anytime now. You know what? We're going to go ahead and go down to 2,000 feet. Hit vertical speed. We'll do 1,200 on that. And I'm thinking, we'll have to see what the plane does. I'm thinking we're going to wind up overshooting the localizer a little bit, so we may have to put it on heading mode and steer us back on course. But all right, let's double check our ILS approach here. IANC. All right, so that's good. We're tuned in on that. We're starting to turn back towards final. We're good there. This has a course of 7.5, but on my chart it says 7.4, so we'll just have to see. But that's all looking good as well. Everything's looking really nice here. Let's go ahead and pull our speed back to 190. We're at 2,000 feet, so that's good. We're looking good there as well. Our DME for ILS is 23.7, so there we go, just came in. It just popped up, so you saw our glide slope jump up. Looks like we're going to be pretty well on the localizer when we roll out on final, so that's good. That's actually really good. Really, really nice. And the throttle, auto throttle, always gets a little bit wonky at these kind of speeds right here. I don't really know why. It just wants to go back and forth. Like it's really, really super sensitive to it. All right, we're by the ILS, so we're going to have to turn back in. So let's do that. I can get on over there. I should have been setting that already. I don't know why I didn't. Get LNAV off. Let's pull that. Let the plane start turning back. We'll do about 0.85. Yeah, it flew us over the... I don't know why it didn't turn us back towards Elias, and that's not the first time I've seen that. I've seen that happen before, but we can take care of it. Elias is... yeah, we should be fine for that. We should re-intercept, no problem. Back to 80. 80 degrees as soon as we start to see the actually no, we need to go way more than that. Way more than that. Yep. It's like it kind of turned us on course and then it just gave up right at the last little minute and let us overshoot it. So I don't know why it did that. We're okay. We still got plenty of time. We're still 18 miles out. All right, our localizer's starting to come back, so let's go ahead and hit that. And we'll watch that and make sure the plane captures it. Looks like our glide slope is starting to come down just a tad, maybe. All right, there we go. We're turning on course now. That's looking good. There we go. Sweet. And as soon as we get wings level, we'll drop our speed back to 180 knots, go full flaps. Got a little haze off in the distance. It's definitely hazy up here, so we can't make out the field yet. Looks like she's got us lined up good, so we should be fine there. There, just watching the glide slope. Then if she decides to start moving, then we'll hit approach mode. And we'll do full flaps. We'll pull our speed back and do full flaps and all that stuff when it's 1 above. We drop our gear. Zoom this in just a tad, take a peek here. Get our fixes. Alright, we should be getting ready to intercept any time now. Dooley's at 1,600 feet, 400 below, and that's where we actually intercept at, so we'll get it just a little bit prior to it. There we go. Alright, glide slope's coming down. So let's go ahead and hit approach mode. And we're good there. And glide slope's 1 above. Let's go ahead and drop our gear. And pull our speed back to 160 knots and go full flaps. Alright, there we go. And we got the runway in sight. So everything is looking really good. Just slightly below the glide slope, but I think that's the plane compensating for the flaps. There, and we are 8.5 miles off the end of the runway. That is looking good as well. Double check that real quick. See a Alaskan Airlines 737-700 down there, and making sure that our runway does not really on the off side of the runway. That's interesting. Usually it's on the left. That's what I wanted to double check. I didn't know. Yeah, something about that doesn't look right. I see the runway though, but I don't see any runway lights. Interesting. Yeah, I was expecting that to be to the left of the runway. That's why I wanted to look at it. I was like, that doesn't look right for some reason, because it looked like that could be a runway, or that really the actual runway itself is really dark. It's hard to pick up. And you'd kind of think in this haze or something they would have runway lights on, but all right, still looking good through 800 feet. We're 160 knots, and on the glide slope, everything's looking really nice. Just let the plane fly itself down. I mean, why not? And then 1,000 feet. All right. That doesn't seem right. It's not corresponding with our altitude, but it could be because our information is not right. Let's see, Anchorage 3043. Yeah, that's right. No, I don't know why it's saying that. Yeah, that's really odd. It's nowhere near where it should be.
400.
All right, let's get the autopilot disengaged.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Whew, a little bit hard. A little bit of hard landing, yep. Alright, let's get our reverse kicked in here. You can definitely tell we got a little bit of wind blowing across the runway there. Alright, coming up on 80 knots. 60 knots, we'll come out of reverser. And we gotta get some brakes to take this high speed here if we can. Looks like we'll be able to. Very nice. Okay, very nice. And we'll shoot on across the runway. We'll say they went ahead and cleared us across it. We're not using ATC. I've never bothered with ATC and X-Plane, so I really don't know much about it, honestly. If she'll take us across. Oh, we're still in reverser, no wonder. There we go. Now we're out. My bad. I got it bound to my joystick. Not sure if it takes them back in though. I'll have to test that out later. All right, let's go ahead and clear the runway. And we'll get ready to taxi to the Atlas ramp, which I do know where that's at. Let's hop out of the airplane and we'll stop real quick here. Yeah, we need to get our spoilers back in as well. All right, let's do that. Let's get our spoilers cleaned up. I mean, our flaps and spoilers. We'll take care of all that. Get all this stuff cleaned up. Get our strobes off. That taken care of. We'll leave the beacon zone. Don't really need navs. We'll take those off. We'll get our landing lights off, and we'll get our taxi light on. All right, so we're good with all that. Don't need turn off. Don't need any of that other mess. Let's see. I think we're good. All right, let's hop back out of the airplane. We'll head towards our ramp, towards Atlas. We'll be right over this way. What a beautiful airplane. Love flying the 747. I need a lot more practice in it though. Did download some freeware scenery for the airport. It looked really nice in the pictures, but I failed to get some add-on either libraries or something that I needed. So I wasn't able to use it on this flight, but maybe the next flight I can get that other stuff downloaded and installed, and we can give it a try too. You kind of went about this in a roundabout way. We'll have to go back to the left, hang a left, then hang a right, and go down that taxiway, and that'll take us to the cargo ramps, which is way up here to the north of the airfield. I did a little research on Google Earth. It has the Atlas building labeled, and then in one of the satellite images, you can see Polar Air Cargo / DHL sitting there, which the Polar Air Cargo is part owned by Atlas. So they would use the same ramp as well. I'm looking forward to our next flight. I won't give it away yet. I'll surprise you guys when we get the video posted, but it will be international. That's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to that first international flight in flight simming in a very, very long time. And we're going to keep going with this plane. Like I said, this will be a series of flights in the Atlas Air 747s. Just going to different exotic locations around the world based on their routes and flight plans and all that stuff. And it should be a lot of fun. We'll keep going with this plane. We'll make their great circle or whatever it is you want to call it. And like a complete gray circle around the world. But they cover a lot of different locations, and then we'll take the plane back to O'Hare and we'll try a different one. I got another Atlas plane that I want to try out. It's a different scheme than this one, but really cool. Really cool looking airplane, so looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I always thought the cargo ops was just the coolest flights, you know, going all over the world. You know, like I said, all kind of different exotic locations and places like that. I think right here to the right would be the FedEx stuff, and I think UPS is down here, and then the Atlas and some of the other carriers are down at the very end. Lots and lots of cargo planes coming out of Anchorage. All right, let's spot it up on the parking spot here, and we'll call it. All in all, pretty cool flight. You see him got cargo parked off down there on the taxiway. So I never noticed that when I looked around the airport before. A really cool flight if you're into it. If you're into it and you have the time, you know, time acceleration helps a lot. I know some guys like to do it full time, the whole way, real time. I just can't do that. I can't do it at all. But nonetheless, still a really, really fun flight. Oh, hear that nose wheel skidding. Not gonna have any tread left on his tires when we're done with it. Come on, let's go. Let's go, get over there. Alright, there we go. That's gonna do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff. It is greatly appreciated. Always really glad to hit number 70. Like I said, it just really blows my mind. But anyway, we'll catch you guys in the air next time. Peace.